Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and I am back for another week of foam rolling information. So first things first, I want to talk about some of the benefits of foam rolling to get started this week. So first thing is going to be that it's going to improve your range of motion and performance. And this is great because foam rolling actually works to break up those knots and return your muscles and other soft tissues back to their kind of normal, flexible, or inflexible, depending on what you want, based on muscle or type of tissue. Kind of range of motion. So it'll increase that range of motion and allow for that increased performance. Second thing it's going to do for you is relieve that muscle soreness and really improve your recovery. So breaking up those knots, like I mentioned, is going to increase circulation to your muscles and connective tissues, and your muscles will be able to recover faster. You'll experience less soreness and better circulation of oxygen into the muscles, which can only improve your recovery time, which helps you get back at it a little bit faster and more efficiently. Third thing is going to be that it's going to lengthen those muscles and prevent injury. So like I said, we're lengthening the muscles a little bit, not to where they're inefficient, but that myofascial release does allow for that lengthening in the same way that flexibility training would. And so it will reduce that risk of injury, because if they are the appropriate length, if they're not super tight, they have that little bit more leeway. If a movement goes a little bit wrong, or it moves in a way that it wasn't necessarily properly warmed up for, if you have a little bit more length and leeway, you're much less likely to get injured. And if you do, it'll be a lot less serious because of that appropriate length. Fourth and finally, it can help correct muscle imbalances. So as you relax the muscles, you can improve their range of motion. And with those lengthened muscles, your body can perform better. So that relaxation of overactive and tight muscles allows for that proper range of motion, that proper movement to strengthen your weaker or less active muscles. From there, let's take it down to the floor with the foam roller and get going on a couple moves you can do this week for your upper body. All right, so since we are hitting some of our smaller muscle groups, our upper body muscle groups this week, I just wanted to briefly talk about two of my other favorite recovery tools. The first one, you can easily use a baseball or a lacrosse ball for a little bit more pressure, or a tennis ball or racquetball or something a little softer for a little bit less. And I just like to use this to target some of my smaller muscles. So you'll see when I hit my neck, there's also the option to choose something like this. You place it in almost exactly the same spot to hit those pressure points, and it just gets a little bit more exact of that tension release. The other one is my AccuRoller. Again, a little bit better for smaller muscle groups, especially if you don't foam roll a whole ton. It allows you to be a little bit more accurate and put a little bit less pressure. So with the foam roller, you're using body weight, but with this, you're just using the pressure that you can use through your hands. So for something like the chest, you could just do a real small range of motion, and I can put exactly how much pressure on that space that I want there to be. Moving to our foam roller, like I said, you can do pretty much any of these options with these other two tools. So if there's something that you're interested in, you can always try them out. First thing we're going to do is going to be a chest opener. This one is always a little bit better with a longer foam roller. However, I do have some pillows that'll just kind of replace that and provide the proper support. So one is going to go right underneath, one is going to go right above to support my head, and then we're just going to open the shoulder blades up and lay it down directly on top of the foam roller. So bringing it down on your back, the hips are supported at the bottom, your spine aligns right along that foam roller, and your head is supported by this top pillow, and then you're just going to open the arms up to either side, and this really helps to open up through the chest as you pull the shoulder blades together and let them release over top of that foam roller. I like to keep my knees bent and my feet planted because it relieves a little bit of the pressure, but you could lengthen the legs to make it a little bit more intense there. Second one that we're going to do is going to be the chest. So like I said, if you needed the smaller roller, you can always use that, but with the foam roller, move these out of the way. We're going to bring it down on top of it with that arm extended out in front, and this is a very small range of motion just to hit those chest muscles. So you're going to start right here, and then just nice and easy back and forth to hit the muscles of the chest right there. So again, a really small range of motion, keeping it as little or much pressure as you need. So more body weight is going to be a little bit more intense, but keeping the hips down and keeping that range of motion smaller is going to be a little bit less intense. After that, we've got the shoulders. So again, kind of a small muscle group. Feel free to use more or less pressure as you need. I'm going to go with a little less and keep my hip down. We're placing the outside of the shoulder right on that foam roller. If you extend that hand down, it's going to create a little more pressure. And then again, really small range of motion, just forward and backward right here, that upper third of the arm, just to kind of hit that muscle right on the outside of the shoulder. After that, we've got triceps. So from here, all we're gonna do is very similar body positioning, but we're gonna have the arm extended and the palm is gonna go up so you can hit the triceps right on the back of the arm. Right here, we're gonna place it either right above the elbow or below the shoulder. And then again, it's that small range of motion. So if you keep your hips down, it's going to be a little bit less pressure. If you take maybe this front hand off, it's going to be a lot more pressure. This is pretty intense for me. So just take it, just small rolls side to side, one at a time. And then we've got our biceps. So that muscle group on the front side of the arm. So we just did triceps, got biceps. This one, you're going to have the roller out to the side of your body. We're gonna lay face down, we're gonna be palm down, and then the roller is gonna be right underneath that bicep. So same concept as that tricep, just nice, easy, side to side, hitting as much or little pressure as you need. So if you put more weight down on top of the foam roller, it'll be more intense. If you loosen up a little bit and don't press this hand down towards the floor, it's gonna be a little bit less intense. Finally, we've got the neck. So this one involves no actual rolling except for movement with the head. So we're gonna bring the foam roller right underneath the neck. And then, like I said, we're not gonna roll up and down because we wanna keep the neck safe. We don't wanna put any of those vertebrae or spinal column at risk. So first thing you're gonna do here is just nice and easy, rock the head side to side, super slow, look over one shoulder, bring it through center and look over the other. So that's just gonna give you that nice safe range of motion. You're gonna roll out any knots that you have right in there and really hit those pressure points at the base of the skull. You do not wanna put a lot of pressure, so I would never recommend that you lift your hips up here. I would never recommend that you roll forward and backward or side to side on the neck. You wanna keep it nice and stable and steady, keep the neck safe. And then really briefly, just with those other two tools, just a couple of quick, easy upper body rolls that you can do. Like I said, the chest, it's that same little muscle group right here. So we're just right up and down, a little bit of pressure. If you've got a rolling pin or something like that, that works perfect for this. Just to kind of roll out those muscles without having to put your body weight into it. It's a little bit less awkward than kind of trying to roll them out on the floor. Same thing with the shoulders. With this one, it gets a little awkward. I can only do it with one hand, but if you've got a friend or a partner that's willing to help you out a little bit, just a little bit of pressure through the outside top third of the shoulder. Same thing, tricep and bicep on either arm. From there, the neck. I don't do a lot of range of motion with this, so nice and light, nice and easy, no pressure. I would never recommend having someone else do this for you unless they're professionally trained. I would always roll out your own neck just because that keeps it safe. All right, and finally, one of my favorites with the tennis, lacrosse, baseball, releases a lot of pressure through the traps. So this is a really good one for if you sit with the shoulders scrunched up a lot throughout your day. So all you're gonna do is take that tennis ball or baseball or lacrosse ball. You're going to place it basically right at the base of your neck. So it's a little bit under, we're hitting the muscles in the shoulder here. So I can kind of tell there's that little bit of a muscle right there. That's exactly where I want to place it. Again, we aren't going to roll this one out on the floor. We're going to put it right underneath, and then we're going to use our body's range of motion to help with this one. So all you're going to do is take the arm up overhead. You'll feel that muscle move over top of the ball and then back down nice and slow and controlled. So this is a great one for releasing that pressure that I get a lot of knots up there because I'm sitting all day long. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a great rest of your Thursdays.